You're watching NewsView. And now, from Champaign-Urbana, Illinois, it's NewsView.
Hello and welcome to NewsView for May 10th, 2013. The first story tonight is from KSDK TV5 in St. Louis, Missouri. The Schnucks credit card breach impacted about 2.4 million credit card and debit card users, and it occurred at 79 of its 100 stores, according to the company. The company said the breach happened over a 3-month period between December 2012 and March 29, 2013. The company said the breach affected card numbers and expiration dates only, and no names, addresses, or personal information was taken. Schnucks has created a dedicated call center for customers if they have any additional questions about what happened and steps they could take to protect themselves. Please call 1-888-414-8022 Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. through 5 p.m. and through the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, between April 20th and 21st. Well, it's May now. So, anyway, in other news, the Beeson slayings have gotten attention here in Central Illinois, and according to WEEK and WHOI at CINewsNow.com, they say Peoria, Illinois, opening statements have wrapped up in the mass murder trial of Christopher Harris. The state has begun calling witnesses. Harris is charged with killing 5 members of the G family in their Beeson home in 2009. And also from WHOI, WEEK, in Pekin, Illinois, the Pekin Bridge is open following a train derailment Wednesday evening. The city of Pekin reported that the train pulling loaded cars of coal had partially derailed near the Pekin Bridge. Some of the cars lost suspension and fell over, spilling their load of coal. Because of the derailment, the Pekin Bridge was closed during the evening hours, and no injuries were reported. And also, according to WEEK TV, the state is working with Peoria to bring affordable housing assistance to city residents. The Illinois Housing Development Authority will host an evening offering programs for homeowners and buyers. Owners could get up to $35,000 in assistance to prevent foreclosure. Buyers could receive up to $10,000 to purchase vacant homes. And according to Mary Kinney, quote, and we think it strengthens the whole community in terms of raising the property values of the surrounding properties, unquote. And Mary Kinney is the executive director of Illinois Housing Development Authority, I think, IHDA anyway. Quote, we know that vacant properties become a blight on their communities if they are left to stay for any length of time, attracting mischief and also lowering the property value of everyone around them, unquote. The event will be at the Peoria Civic Center May 18th, and interested home buyers must register at www.ihda.org. That's www.ihda.org. And also, according to WHOI and WEEK, some layoffs have been made at the Peoria Riverfront Museum to increase efficiency and sustainability, according to the CEO. As the museum brings bigger names and attractions to its exhibits, the museum is also making staffing cuts of about half a dozen positions. CEO Jim Richardson did not give specific numbers, but did say most positions were part-time. Rikerson says the restructuring is part of a continual assessment of the museum's strategies. We've been at this for 6 months, quote unquote, Richardson said, quote, we have a lot of projections. Our attendance is seasonal, understanding when school groups come here. And it was just time to look at the options, our operations, and look at how we can be more efficient. So it was internally generated, unquote. Rikerson stresses that the museum wants to be transparent to the community to keep public discussion going. The museum came under scrutiny last month for not releasing financial information to the county. And according to The Guardian at guardian.co.uk, an Ohio former school bus driver accused of the kidnap and rape of 3 women held prisoner at his home for years made his first court appearance Thursday when a judge set bond at $8 million. The size of the bond means Ariel Castro, 52, is likely to remain in jail for some time. His court-appointed lawyer said he was unemployed and had little money. His hands in cuffs, Castro bowed his head and remained silent during his arraignment at Cleveland Municipal Court. He avoided looking at the gallery, which was packed with media and onlookers. Police say the ordeal of Amanda Berry, 27, Gina DeJesus, 23, and Michelle Knight, 32, ended Monday when Berry seized a chance to break free when Castro was out of the house. Berry hammered on the front door, attracting the attention of passers-by who helped her escape. She emerged with a 6-year-old daughter and made a now famous 911 call in which she alerted the authorities. Brian Murphy, the assistant prosecuting attorney at Cuyahoga County, told Judge Lauren Moore that Castro's home, quote, was a prison to these 3 women and the child, unquote. He added, quote, today the situation is turned on him. Mr. Castro stands before you a captive, in captivity, a prisoner, unquote. Castro faces 3 counts of rape relating to the women and 4 counts of kidnap, which include the child. He did not enter a plea. The Guardian does not usually identify the victims of sexual assault, but the names of the 3 women were circulated widely by family and law enforcement agencies for years during their disappearance. Kathleen DeMetz, a public defender appointed by the court to represent Castro, said after the hearing that he would need to raise $800,000 cash to get out of jail. And, quote, the man doesn't have any money, unquote, she said. Quote, he clearly doesn't have that, unquote. DeMetz told the court that Castro was unemployed after being fired from his job driving school buses last November. She said he was on suicide watch in jail and was expected to be held in isolation. Police say Castro has waived his right to remain silent and has been talking extensively. His two brothers, Pedro, 54, and Onel, 50, appeared in court on Thursday to answer outstanding warrants for separate misdemeanor cases and were released. Prosecutors said Wednesday that there was no evidence that either of them were involved in the crimes allegedly committed by their brother. Barry de Jesus went home to relatives Wednesday while Knight remained in hospital at Metro Health Medical Center, where her condition was described as good. For reasons that remain unclear, the hospitals had said a day earlier that all three victims had been released. Authorities said the women who disappeared separately between 2002 and 2004 remembered leaving the confines of 2207 Seymour Avenue in West Cleveland only twice during their years in captivity. On both occasions, they recalled being taken to a garage on the property disguised in wigs and hats. At a news conference on Wednesday, the deputy police chief of Cleveland, Ed Tomba, said he would not go into details about whether there had been any other pregnancies in the years the women had been held in the house. But police said Wednesday that they were apparently bound with ropes, chains, and a city councilman briefed on the case. Brian Cummings said they were subjected to prolonged sexual and psychological abuse. And you can read more about that at theguardian.co.uk, and we will continue with more news on Newsview after this break. Welcome back to Newsview. I am Michael Badger, and a story in Urbana, Illinois is that a teacher who taught at Urbana High School is in jail for allegedly having sexual relations with a 16-year-old student. WICD News Channel 15 in Champaign, Illinois, was their first to break the story, and parents they talked to reacting to the story said they were shocked by this horrific news. And you can get more at WICD15.com. And if you want, you can watch WICD Channel 15 on TV. And I'm sure WCIX's WCIA News Online is another good place to go. That's at WCIA.com or IllinoisHomepage.net. You go to news and then you click on the News at 7 link. I don't know if they're having it tonight. I didn't check. Also, according to Fox News, Boston police chief says that the feds never shared warnings about the Boston Marathon bomber, and Boston and Massachusetts law enforcement officials confirmed it Thursday that federal agents left them in the dark on the growing warning signs about Tamerlan Tarznev in the run-up to the Boston Marathon bombing. Boston Police Commissioner Edward Davis, in testimony on Capitol Hill, said his officers on a joint terrorism task force were never told about an explicit warning from the Russian government or about Tasmanov's travel to Chechnya last year. Davis said he would have liked to have known about that activity and that it, quote-unquote absolutely would have merited a second look at Tarzan Nev. Davis and Massachusetts Homeland Security official Kurt Schwartz testified that their officers were not looped in on Tasmanov until after the bombing. Quote, at no time prior to the bombings did any member of the Massachusetts State Police or the Fusion Center have information or knowledge about the Tarzmanov brothers, unquote, Schwartz said. Current and former lawmakers at the committee hearing Thursday expressed disbelief at the lack of information sharing. Quote, the idea that the feds have this information and it's not shared with the state and locals defies why we created the Department of Homeland Security in the first place, unquote, said Representative Michael McCall, Republican of Texas, chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee. Former Senator Joseph Lieberman, a witness at Tuesday's hearing, called the failure to tell Boston police about the brothers, quote, a serious and aggravating omission, unquote. And, quote, this may be one of the most significant and painful takeaway lessons, unquote, he said. Officials continue to question what warning signs were missed about the Tarzmanov brothers. Attention has been drawn to a 2011 warning from the Russian government to the FBI about Tamerlan Taznov. The FBI revealed it was told Tarzmanov was a, quote, a follower of radical Islam, unquote, and was preparing to travel overseas. The FBI says it interviewed Tarzmanov and found no evidence of terrorist involvement. Tarzmanov ended up traveling to Russia for 6 months in early 2012. Even the federal government information may not have traveled across all relevant agencies. Homeland Security Secretary Janet Napolitano said the government's internal system, quote, unquote, pinged when Tarzmanov left the country in 2012, though a Republican senator has said the FBI claimed they were not aware of that trip. Davis said Thursday that his department was not told of any of those developments and repeatedly said he would have liked to know. Quote, we were not aware of Tamerlan's activities, he said. Davis said that he can't say he would have reached a different conclusion than the FBI, but the developments would have prompted another look. And in Washington, D.C., U.S. Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois met with leaders from Champaign County who were in Washington, D.C. for their annual fly-in to discuss local economic development and transportation priorities, including job-creating high-speed rail and road construction projects. A photo from today's meeting is available someplace online, I guess. Attendees at the meeting included Champaign Mayor Don Gerard, Champaign County Board President Alan Kurtz, Champaign Councilman Tom Bruno, Village of Mahomet Village Administrator Mel Shemetsky, Champaign County Economic Development Corporation President Mike Kirchhoff, City of Urbana Public Works Director Bill Gray, Champaign County Chamber of Commerce President Laura Weiss, and Vice President of the University of Illinois Alumni Association, Amy Eckhurst. Quote, Champaign Chamber first brings together business and community leaders from across Champaign County and serves as an important voice for the interests of its members and the entire region, unquote, said Democrat Representative Dick Durbin. And quote, I was happy to meet with members of the group today and look forward to working with them in the future, unquote. Champaign County First is a collaboration between the Champaign County Chamber of Commerce and the Champaign County Economic Development Corporation that has brought together local elected officials and business leaders from throughout the county. The group advocates on behalf of all the communities of Champaign County to build support for regional transportation, infrastructure, and economic development priorities. And that is according to politicalnews.me. And thanks for watching NewsView. Weather is after this break. Stay tuned. And your Central Illinois weather, Friday night, 48 degrees for a low and mostly cloudy. Saturday, mostly sunny with 65 for the high. Saturday night, 41 degrees and clear. And Sunday, 59 for the high and sunny. And Sunday night, a low of 39 degrees Fahrenheit in Central Illinois. This has been your NewsView weather.